The most popular songs make the top 40 hit parade. But what about speeches? Please welcome our own vocal Jim Emery, as he helps guide you to designing a top 40 hit parade contest speech. Please welcome Jim Emery.
You know, each year we have Grammy Awards and Country Music Awards and Oscars and Emmys and so many awards. There's so many awards, especially for good songs. Don't you wish they had Grammys for speeches? I mean, speeches are like songs. As Rocky pointed out in his excellent workshops, now it's been a couple months ago now, you can rock your speeches just like you rock your songs. So I'm going to add just one more rock your speech item this evening that should fit right in with all the great stuff Eric shared last time. If you haven't seen the video of Rocky's workshop, by all means do it. It's public on our website. Just one more addition tonight. Let's look though first. So songs are like speeches. Let's look at songs first. There are lots of reasons for a song to be a top 40 song. And most common and usually most important is a good hook. A song producer, in fact, will usually ask a songwriter right up front, so what's your hook? What is a hook? Well, it's a song element that grabs the listener's attention and hooks them in. It's usually what makes the song an earworm. Now, there are lots of kinds of song hooks. One kind is a story hook. That is, that the hook is about the story that this song portrays. A good example is the night Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahassee Bridge. That tells the story that the song is all about. There are pure instrumental hooks. If you're old enough and a percussionist, you probably played Wipeout, because when I was growing up, every high school drummer in the world was playing it. It was such a great hook. There are non-lyric verbal hooks. Most of you, I think, probably recognize na 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 na, na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye. I mean, it's not really a lyric, but it's words. But what a great hook. Everybody knows that hook. There are rhythmic hooks. One of the famous earworms of the world that curses most parents. Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, right? Well, I've planted that now. Another rhythmic hook is Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Da 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 da, da 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 da. It's the rhythm that makes that a hook. There are certainly lyric hooks. Any of you who know Pharrell Williams' song Happy, because I'm happy, with a little riff, because I'm happy, and just that lyric itself is the hook that keeps you coming back for it. There are pure melody hooks where it almost doesn't matter what the lyrics are. Any of you who have heard Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through, you could just hum that and it's still a delightful thing that's memorable. Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Da 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 da. Once you've heard that melody just stays with you. It's a great hook for the entire symphony. Well, what makes a good song hook? Well, keep it short and keep it simple. The Beatles were masters at this. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say 4 words, here comes the sun. Short, simple, right to the point. I want to hold your hand, same thing. The Beatles were terrific at that. Often a good hook summarizes the song. I can't get no satisfaction. It's kind of what the song's about, right? So that hook, those 5 words, summarizes the meaning of the song. What makes it a good hook? It can invite the audience to participate. I'm sure you've been to an event, often sporting events, where where the crowd starts going, we will rock you, right? And the crowd gets going and it just takes on a life of its own. Or YMCA, right? And once the crowd goes, you know you've got a great hook. So what makes a good hook better? Well, one, you repeat it. That is, you put it in up front, and then you repeat it appropriately along the way. So that that Sweet Caroline, for example, Neil Diamond starts with that, and then each chorus he brings that back to plant it in your mind, and then you close with it. In his case, he loops it out into a fade out. But repetition helps that stay in the mind of the listener. Now, what makes it even better? Well, change up the rhythm maybe from the rest of the song. The Supremes did a song that had the hook, stop in the name of love before you break my heart. Right on that little, right after stop, made it memorable and made it easy to remember later on. What makes it better? Choose your words carefully. You want them to roll off the tongue really easily, so everyone in your audience will be able to reproduce that hook. And you typically avoid using the hook words elsewhere. So in Sweet Caroline, for example, you don't find that phrase elsewhere in the song. It's only when the hook comes back that it's there, and that repetition kind of regrounds you as to where the song is going. So if you're writing a top 40 hit song, always ask yourself, what's your hook? So what does that have to do with speeches? Do speeches have hooks? Well, the public speaking world, we have this sort of snobby sounding phrase called a foundational phrase. And sometimes that's a slogan or maybe a clever phrase or a mantra, but really it's just another word for a hook. They're in speeches the same way they are in songs. Some examples in the Crusader front, I mean, maybe the most famous speech hook of all time. I have a dream that one day this nation, etc., etc., etc. I have a dream today. Everyone knows the I have a dream speech, and it's only 4 words, probably the best speech hook ever. In the religious world, sermons often have great hooks, and maybe one of the most famous sermons is out of the Bible, the Sermon on the Mount. And there's a section of it called the Beatitudes that goes, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And then there are 7 more, "Blessed are the," in that sermon, and makes it incredibly memorable. So anyone who's probably read it once knows that part of the sermon. Politicians are great at this. Barack Obama, yes, we can. He would talk about a whole bunch of material, of things that he wanted to do, and then at the end of that section, he'd always have the audience with him. Yes, we can. Winston Churchill was great at it. His famous speech, "We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds." And he had a number of other "we shall fight" to show the British determination. And that was also a great, great hook. The advertising world is great at it. Nike's "Just Do It." How simple and yet connecting. And maybe the best long-standing hook, what is Wheaties? It's the breakfast of champions, and it has been my whole life, and it probably will be long after I'm gone. Great, great hook. Some even more examples in the public speaking world. If you go back and you look at the world champions of public speaking, there are some great hooks in some of those winning speeches. A long time ago, a guy named Craig Valentine gave a speech called "Your Dream is Not for Sale," and that was his hook. So he very early in the speech planted that hook, "Your dream is not for sale." And then he would spin his story, and in the middle he came back to "Your dream is not for sale." And he closed with that as well. Very memorable. Darren LaCroix had a great speech that he won with in 2001. The hook was one word, ouch. He's a great comedian, and he painted these pictures of these amazing situations, and then he would just punctuate them with ouch. It was a great hook, and he just used it all the way through his speech. Really memorable. Another good Toastmasters example we heard tonight. Just keep climbing. Sherry did a terrific job with that. She planted that hook early, and she kept coming back to it, and she finished with it. So when you were done listening to her speech, just keep climbing is the earworm in your brain. Terrific job with that, Sherry. So what makes a good speech hook? Well, same thing. Keep it short, keep it simple. I have a dream. 4 words, all that is. Make it summarize the speech that you're giving. Your dream is not for sale. Great summarization of the entire speech. Invite the audience to participate. Just whatever your politics is, you have to give Donald Trump credit. Lock her up was an incredible hook. The audience participated everywhere he went. And once he heard the audience doing that, he knew he had them in the palm of his hand. What makes it better? Repeat it. Ouch, for Darren LaCroix. Give it rhythm. Lock her up. And don't use the words elsewhere. Breakfast of Champions is always the Breakfast of Champions, but only in that hook mode. So as you go together and you put your next contest speech together, or maybe you still have time, you're editing on your current one before district, be sure that you have the answer to what's your hook. If your hook is memorable, you may have a winning speech. So one more time, what's your hook? Madam Toastmaster.